everyone, welcome to Trend Talks. Today I have the pleasure and honor to speak with Assaad Razzouk. He's chairman and group CEO of Sindicatum Renewable Energy. And Assaad has an extensive experience, not only in finance, but in sustainability in general. In renewable energy, he's considered an expert and he is a well-known podcaster. The angry clean energy guy. Well, let's hear what he has to say on and what he is angry about today. He has tens of thousands of followers on social media channels. Check his impressive CV on LinkedIn. Welcome, Assaad.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here.
All right, Assaad. So yeah, what are you angry about today with respect to renewable energy?
Look, actually, I'll tell you the good news, because for once I haven't been that angry. I've been extremely angry about the coronavirus response, and I'll explain that in a second. As far as renewable energy is concerned, I'm actually relatively happy because what we've shown over the past 3 to 4 months is an amazing amount of resilience and promise in the sector, unlike oil, gas, and coal, which have shown neither resilience nor promise. And so I think the die has been cast, so to speak, in terms of the next 10 years and the clean infrastructure that we're going to build. So I'm very happy about that. What I'm unhappy about is that what the coronavirus has shown, it's shown that governments actually have the ability to deploy trillions of dollars in literally months, weeks, in some cases days, to solve major existential problems. And so they have let us down big time the past 20 years by not doing even a fraction of that to combat climate change. That's the angry bit and the happy bit.
But might this be a paradigm shift and also in the way governments are reacting to crisis, and maybe there is now better understanding of this climate crisis, and that they might also start spending more money on fighting this climate change because they see this enormous impact of the climate crisis?
Yes, we've seen that, I think, very clearly in Europe, very clearly across Europe, because pretty much all the European stimulus plans to fight the coronavirus are kind of amazingly green if you look at them in a historical context, right? Yeah. Whether it's Germany's 9 billion euros for hydrogen or 40 billion euros for electrification, the same with France's push on electric cars. I think the British are going to come out with what they're calling a green industrial revolution. Obviously, the EU at the center announced the 750 billion very green stimulus package. So yes, they're getting it, and they're getting it because yes, it's a historic opportunity, but also at the same time, people simply, as President Macron said recently in an interview, don't want to be asphyxiated. So they now understand that what we're talking about with climate change is the same as with a coronavirus, which is to literally asphyxiate them. And therefore, you've got citizenry, which is more engaged, and governments that are more engaged. And that's why at the start of this program, Edwin, I said I wasn't actually that angry.
Well, it's good. I also see some positive signs coming from this crisis. They say never waste a good crisis. Are there any other trends that you see coming forward from this crisis?
Yes. Look, there's a few very big ones that I can see which are directly related to the coronavirus crisis. So one of I'll give you kind of a small one and a couple of big ones. One of the small ones is, and the Dutch were so correct about that, is about the bicycle. So what we're seeing around the world today is there are over 20 major cities that are actually redesigning themselves in order to facilitate a lot more two-wheel travel, whether it's a bicycle or an electric bicycle, because they understood that this is the most powerful weapon not only for social distancing, obviously, because it does give you that compared to public transport, but also in terms of a cleaner, healthier city. So I think you can expect that the bicycle is going to have quite a major impact on real estate prices in cities versus, for example, the countryside, on energy usage, because we will use a lot less gasoline for our cars and buses, you know, not just the cars. You can expect that it will have a ripple effect across a multitude of sectors that I dedicated a whole podcast on. So these kind of long-term trends that are emerging just because of the humble bicycle. The second renewable energy trend that I can see already is that the sector is attracting now far more serious attention, and I personally expect that all the growth curves that we've put out, even the optimists over the next decades will be beaten. And I'll give you like a very simple example. Just a few days ago, Indian Railways, which is the fourth largest railway system in the world, made an announcement that it's installing 3 gigawatts of solar in just the next 2 years. And that's more solar than Canada or South Africa or Thailand have in their entirety. So you're going to see more moves like this, I think, more acceleration, cleaner air, I hope, and a better chance to beat a 2-degree warming, because the 1.5 degree battle is more or less lost.
Okay. Well, short answer maybe on a question next, maybe the last question already. Assaad, you're an expert also on financing and also with your company involved in PV project finance and investment. What do you see as the future for that in your own region in Asia?
Well, we had not had in ASEAN specifically a serious enough amount of money deployed on the renewables infrastructure. So I definitely think that this is now decisively changing. And I tweet quite often about data points that show that. So financing is finally opening up. And as you know, I've been screaming about this for, I don't know, over five years now, that people were talking about it, but not doing it. And now I think things are finally changing. So I'm actually quite optimistic on the financing side.
Okay, well, to finish off then, Assaad, I think overall, it's not that angry that you are. You're quite optimistic and positive about the future of renewables and solar, even in Europe, either in Europe and in Asia. So thank you very much for this interview.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.